went to the Pan Ams in Cuba last weekend as a two-time Pan American champion, so I was happy to defend my title and take the gold the third year in a row at this competition. This year alone has been like I almost don't even want to say anything about it because it's just been such a good run. Just starting in January, did a training camp in Austria for a couple weeks, and then I went to Cuba for the first time this year for the Cuba Grand Prix, where I took gold as well. Then I went to Paris, where I took a bronze medal at the Paris Grand Slam, which was pretty significant for me because I was able to beat the French girl, Autumn Pavia, for bronze, who I had lost to at the World Championships in August for bronze. So that was a really good win for me. And then going to the Pan Ams, I beat the Canadian in the final, who I had also lost to at the World Championships. So seeing those adjustments that I'm making in training, working in the competition is probably the most satisfying part of all of that. I guess this whole year has been a lot of different training camps in different countries. After Cuba in January, I stayed for a training camp. I stayed an extra 10 days in France for a training camp, and then I went to Japan also for another 10 days, which was just absolutely brutal. In that moment, you're kind of asking yourself, why am I doing this? Like, why am I putting myself through this? But now, looking back, I see that all that time paid off for now. I mean, every day when you walk on the mat, you're surrounded by Olympic and world medalists, if not Olympic and world champions. So it's also unique because in Japan, they have so many girls on the mat every single day. I don't think there's a dojo in the United States you could go to where you could work out with 25 different girls in one training session. And here you have hundreds to pick from. So you just can't replicate that type of training anywhere else. I think that one of the main things you get from training in Japan is the stamina. In the U.S., you train maybe an hour or two every day just because, like I said, you don't have the bodies to do much more. But in Japan, you could train 4 to 5 hours a day every round going with a different girl. So you learn how to just do judo until it's just you close your eyes and you see judo happening there too because they're just more technically savvy as well. So they do so much judo that their technique alone is a lot better. So I think when you're in that kind of environment, you kind of step up to that level as well. And I think that shows in competition. A lot of times when people compare training in the United States or even Europe to Japanese training, they'll say that, the Japanese don't spend a lot of time or as much time as other countries out on the track or in the gym because they're doing just judo training. Because I mean, you can supplement your training in whatever way you think is necessary, but in the end, the best way to train is to train judo. For that training camp, it was me and my teammate, Kayla Harrison, and our coach, Big Jim Pedro. Both of them are from Boston, so it was just that trio of us.